If you want to make your home look beautiful on a budget in 2025, today I'm going to share with you the most stunning home decor trends I've seen for 2025 and how you can recreate them on a budget. But before we get started, I want to remind you that you need to decorate for you and your family. Use what you love. These are just some starting points and some inspiration that will hopefully spark your creativity. Let's start with one of the boldest trends of 2025, and I really like this one, and it's called color drenching. You've probably seen this over the last year or two on social or shared by some interior designers. It's this simple but effective method where you paint the ceiling, the trim, and the walls in your home the same color. So essentially you color drench every surface in your home. Sometimes people even choose furniture in the same color as the walls and ceiling, and this creates this really cozy and immersive feeling space. It also can feel incredibly luxurious, especially if you use a dark or saturated color. However, you don't have to use these colors. If you prefer more neutrals, you can go with beiges, grays, whites, and tans and create a little bit more of an airy feeling using this color drenching trend. If you feel like matching your furniture to your wall, paint is one of my favorite ways to completely transform a space on a budget. You can buy a can of paint for around $50 here, and a couple cans goes a long way in a room to make it feel like a whole new space. You can also use the furniture that you have and use painting techniques to make it match your walls and your trim if you'd like. I have a tutorial on how I paint IKEA furniture, one of my favorite places to buy budget-friendly furniture, and I will leave that video down in the description box below. The next trend I'm loving is cottage style wallpaper, and wallpaper has been trending over the past few years. It's still gaining a lot of momentum, and especially the smaller prints and the more cottagecore inspired prints. Adding wallpaper to your home is the perfect way to add a vintage feel to your space, to add that nostalgic feeling. One of my favorite ways to add wallpaper is to use peel and stick products because I find that they're quite easy to install. They've been getting more and more budget friendly as the years go on. I did this in our tiny lake house living room, and I've also used peel and stick wallpaper in a bathroom makeover, and I've used vintage inspired wallpaper in a small bedroom as well as my own powder room. My favorite places to use cottage style wallpaper would be in powder rooms, just on maybe the top third or half with some board and batten on the bottom. I also love how it looks in dining rooms, makes it look so beautiful. And new this last year or two, I've seen it in unexpected spaces like in kitchens, which is an interesting way to add some pattern into your space. Now, minimalism isn't going anywhere. I am not a minimalist, but I do have lots of friends that are. However, in 2025, we're seeing more of a warm and cozy version of minimalism. So we're gonna call it warm minimalism. So this style keeps the traditional clean and uncluttered look, but we're adding those warm shades, so terracottas, browns, beiges, plus a lot of cozy textures to make sure that the lack of furniture and accessories doesn't feel too sterile. So we're adding in all of those cozy textures. To get this look on a budget, focus on decluttering first. It is so satisfying. I find it hard to get started, but once I'm done decluttering, it feels so good. And then you can layer in some budget-friendly favorites like throw pillow covers and blankets, and you can even DIY your own. Biophilic Design is all about connecting your home with nature, and this is a huge trend for 2025 and beyond. I think it's one of the most calming trends of the year, and you can easily incorporate this into your home by adding in houseplants, whether they're big or small. If you're worried about cost, start small. You can ask your friends for clippings, you can propagate plants, and you can even shop the thrift stores for vessels that you can use as unique planters. And don't forget about using natural textures like wood to bring the outdoors, nature, inside. Warm hues are continuing to dominate 2025, and I could not be happier. I've really been enjoying bringing in warmer tones into my own home. After painting the whole thing a rather cool gray about 12 years ago, contrasting that with warmer tones of browns and beiges and creams really makes my space feel a lot more cozy. People are using a lot of these tones, and even warm colors like dark reds have been trending over the past year or two. And these colors not only add coziness, but they also add a sense of depth to your space. Now, if you're not ready to paint an entire room in a warm tone, you can incorporate these warmer tones by accessories. So bring in those throw pillows in the warm tones, the blankets. You can even bring in small accent furniture pieces. Budget-friendly options for accessories are everywhere, so think about the dollar store, the thrift store, even small tabletop decor in warm tones is gonna make your space feel so much more inviting. My favorite warm tone is actually a metallic right now, and that is brass, and you can find so much brass at the thrift store. Now let's talk about natural materials, and those are really tied into these warm tones and this biophilic design trend. People are still using natural materials in their home. So think about woods, rattan, jute, stone, all of these natural materials are having a major moment in 2025. These all add so much texture and warmth to your space. I always love the idea of bringing nature inside, and they're continuing to dominate in 2025. To embrace this trend, try swapping out plastic decor in your home for something more natural. So something in wood, maybe a woven basket. I love finding woven baskets at IKEA, one of my favorite places for budget-friendly natural pieces. And you can find a lot of solid wood furniture at the thrift store or on Facebook Marketplace. You can sand it down, restain it, or paint it to make it feel like yours. One of my favorite trends of 2025 is the elevated coffee bar. I'm standing in front of my coffee bar right now, and it was my favorite DIY of this year, and I love that this trend is here to stay. This is all about turning an unused corner or an unused wall in your home into a functional place for coffee, tea, hot drinks, etc. And it doesn't have to be a whole wall like I did here for my IKEA hack. It could be a corner in your dining room. It could be a little countertop space in your kitchen. You can get creative with this trend. The coffee bar behind me started with some IKEA cabinets, and then I was able to DIY them to make them look built in and add this wood shelf feature in the center. You can do something like this where you start with an IKEA base and customize it to make it look more high-end. You can upcycle some Facebook Marketplace furniture. You can paint some thrift store furniture and make your own DIY shelves. The options are endless to make your own special little hot drinks nook. And when styling your coffee station, you can shop your home and use what you have. Use upcycled mason jars to hold spoons and other coffee essentials. You can use an upside-down wooden box as a riser like I did for your coffee syrup. And there's lots of inexpensive options on Amazon for really high-end looking syrup dispensers, coaster sets. I will leave all of my favorites down in that description box below. Now, if you're curious how I turned IKEA cabinets into my own coffee station, I'm gonna leave that video for you to watch next right here, where I walk you through the whole makeover from start to finish.